So this is, we're here today talking about Caille's, and this is kind of a sequel to a video that Lincoln here has already done about this fine little Caille 2 3/4 horse 5-speed twin, commonly called a pennant, Caille pennant twin. And it's basically the 5-speed. It's got variable pitch propeller. I think they appeared around 25. This one may be a 26. It's hard to date them. This one has a does have a serial number on it, and so it's probably 26.
I would say that was about right.
The earliest ones had an Eisman mag. This one appears to have a Bosch, American Bosch mag.
Right, with an
Okay.
attachment so you could put a battery
Right.
to it.
So I'll call this a 26.
And what's this little brass piece in here between the carburetor and the
So that's
block?
a check valve. So originally these had a Zenith carburetor, which did not have a throttle control at all. It's kind of a delicate little carburetor. They work well, but they're very delicate. So it looks like at some point
Did
this
it also have that little check valve arrangement or not?
built in.
Built into the carburetor itself,
Right.
so it was actually a two-port carburetor.
Oh, sure.
And this one's a converted
Right.
Tillotson.
This is a later Caille carb
Right.
that, and all the later, the 28 and up of this size had that same arrangement.
Okay.
So at some point, this thing, must have had trouble with its original little carb and Zenith carb, and it went to this Caille style carb, which they work quite well. And so it's typical of the time period, and compared to this one. We have this, what's called a master twin, which is a 26. And it's very similar dimensionally to the 2 3/4.
Looks like they just mounted it on the same
Yeah.
same clamp brackets and everything.
Yeah, I
Same
think
lower
it's-
unit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same lower unit.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. And there are some little differences though. Obviously the cylinders being much bigger.
And
It's
the exhaust ports are on the bottom, and on that
Right.
one they're in the back.
right. That's because this is a 3-port.
Okay.
It's easier to do that. On a
Okay.
3-port.
This
So-
is, you
so-
see right here?
Yeah.
Look at those, and right over here, this one is
Right.
up high,
Yeah.
okay?
So this is a little bit different. The factory must have realized that they couldn't quite put this big Class B size engine on that little lower unit. So if you look at the propeller is much farther back. So the prop
Oh,
shaft,
yeah.
the prop shaft is like an inch or so longer
Yeah,
on this one, and of course it still shifts. And
yeah. Well, why is it further out?
Well, I think that the factory must have been afraid of like cavitation.
Oh, really? Okay,
So,
because
but-
of all the stuff
Yeah,
behind
by
it.
putting
Yeah,
it farther
okay,
back.
yeah,
It's also about 2 inches longer, so
okay.
it's deeper.
Yeah,
It's deeper in the boat, and
Yeah.
the prop is farther back to kind of minimize that.
because there's obviously quite a bit more horsepower here.
Yeah, so I
What are
think
these,
these are rated
fives?
at 4 or 4.5.
4.5, okay.
And so 2.5-inch bore, 2-inch stroke. A lot of the same features. So it's got basically the same magneto, the American Bosch mag, the same little gas tank, same carb.
Have the same propensity to break the bottom snout on the
No, we
crankshaft,
haven't-
crankcase?
We haven't broken it off yet.
Okay, good. I think they made them quite a bit beefier. That one you gave me as a replacement for this one
Yeah.
was quite a
Yeah.
bit stronger. Yeah, okay.
So anyway, that's
All
the
right.
side-by-side comparison.
All right.
So these earlier Cailles had a vent tube. They for some reason refused to put a vent in the cap. I don't know why. So at the bottom of this fitting, there's a little tiny copper tube that bends around and goes all the way back to here in the tank. And that was, the thought was, well, when the motor's tipped up, that end of that tube will be dry, it
Won't be peeing gas.
won't have gas in it.
Right.
I think the reasoning was flawed, because if this motor's on a boat and the gas is sloshing around, it's still gonna make its way through that tube. And this one has the same thing. And at some point in its life, you can see a big solder ball, a solder blob on there. So somebody said, that's no good, it's
They
making a
put a
mess.
vented cap
They
on
put a
it.
vented cap on it.
Yeah, I cheated. This one got crimped
Yeah.
by the corner, and I had to put vents underneath
Yeah,
here.
well.
I just vented the edge.
Anyway,
All right. Huh, anything else?
that's about all.
Okay, good. Bill Andrewlitis with his Caille Master Twist, the Beast. And he's getting ready to fire it up. I missed the first 3 pulls. I didn't have it on record, but I do now.
Fire right up.
Not bad. Okay. Frosty says, this is the end of the show.
That's all,
Goodbye.
folks.